Welcome back to TesLUCKY, the YouTube channel where you can follow the adventures of Lucky the Tesla. One of the things I truly love about Tesla ownership is that the learning never stops with these incredible vehicles. Last week, I took Lucky into the service center here in Las Vegas for some routine maintenance, and I am going to share with you today 5 things that I learned from a simple routine visit to the Tesla service center. But first, as it relates to our channel,
if you already love Teslas,
if you are thinking about buying a Tesla,
or if you are just curious about electric vehicles,
please subscribe to TesLUCKY
and click the bell for notifications. All of our videos are Tesla related. And if you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up.
One additional thing I want to say before we get started with the 5 learnings from our service center visit a week ago is that Uber credits are awesome. Awesome. So when I first heard that Tesla wasn't going to have enough loaner vehicles to meet demand and that they were kind of moving away from having a massive fleet of loaner vehicles and they were offering Uber credits instead, I have to say I was kind of like, not so hot on that idea. I mean, I take Uber all the time. There's nothing wrong with Uber. It's just that the idea of having a loaner vehicle seemed so much more convenient to me until I was faced with the situation where I was actually given the Uber credits instead of a loaner. And I thought it was better. First of all, I thought it was $100 in Uber credits. It's actually $100 in Uber credits a day. But if you have driving needs that go beyond that, Tesla representatives have the ability to give you more Uber credits than just $100 a day. So I explained to the Tesla representative at the Las Vegas Service Center that we lived pretty far away and that there was a pretty great distance between our home and Carly's school and where I work, and that we do a lot of driving. And before I could even finish the explanation, he was like, no problem. I'm going to put $600 worth of Uber credits on your Uber account. And if that isn't enough for you, I'm just a text message away. I will add more. So in my experience, it was really like unlimited Ubers. So I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to Tesla for being so accommodating and making life so easy for customers when they're in their Tesla and when they're out of their Tesla. And if you had a similar feeling like I did, that the Uber credits was just sort of like, okay, I don't know. Let me just tell you, we thought it was awesome. So thumbs up, Tesla, for those Uber credits. All right, so learning number 1 is that if there is a recall, Tesla will send your parts specifically to your home service center, and then you will get notified when it is time to come in and get the work done. They send the parts right to, in our case, Las Vegas with Lucky's VIN number on it, so those are like Lucky's parts. I did not know this. So I got an email back on February 6th. I've got the email right here saying that there was a recall on the Model X's. Let me read you some of the details here from this email. It said Tesla had decided to proactively retrofit a power steering component in some Model X vehicles that were built before October 2016. Apparently, Tesla has observed excessive corrosion on the bolts that attach this component to the steering gear in the affected Model X vehicles. This corrosion has been observed primarily in very cold climates that use calcium or magnesium road salts rather than sodium chloride. Doesn't really affect us here in Nevada, didn't really affect us in Florida, but we still would take advantage of getting something replaced if it could improve the car for sure. So it says here, Tesla will replace the bolts and apply a corrosion preventative sealer in all affected Model X vehicles to account for the possibility that any vehicle may later be used in a cold, highly corrosive environment. The service will be free of charge. And it says that this applies to Model X's built prior to October 2016. So that's basically July, August, and September of 2016. Lucky happens to fall into that 3-month window, as she was born in August of 2016. So that's the story with the recall. But really my learning here is that I had a Tesla mobile service appointment recently to get the touchscreen in Lucky replaced. I was very happy to be able to get a brand new touchscreen within like 2,000 miles of the basic warranty ending at the 50,000 mile mark. And I told the Tesla service representative that I had been hearing a little funny sound, and I wasn't sure if it was coming from the brakes or from the steering, but it was kind of when we were on an incline and the vehicle was moving slow. It's just making some like almost creaking noises, if that makes sense. So in talking about the recall with the mobile service representative, he said there was like a 50-50 chance that maybe getting these bolts replaced would fix the issue. So he suggested that I schedule a service appointment for the recall work. Well, in hindsight, now I know that you can't get the recall work done until they send the parts to the service center and they notify you. But regardless, when I made this appointment in the mobile app, I then called Tesla and asked them if I could add 3 or 4 little routine things that I wanted to have checked out before the basic warranty expired. Tesla said no problem and added those things to the work order. So then when I showed up for the appointment, it was kind of funny because I actually couldn't get the recall work done, which was my reason for being there, but they were going to be able to address some of the other questions and the other minor issues that I had. So it was, it was still worth my time. All right, the second thing that I learned from our service appointment was exactly what the maintenance recommendations are for the Model X. In a recent Today I Called Tesla video that I posted back on December 5th of 2019, you will see that I was asking about general maintenance recommendations for the Tesla. So the representative talked about the need to get the windshield wipers replaced. He said, every 6 months? I don't know if most people do that or not. Also to get the tires replaced as needed and to make sure that the 12-volt battery is checked and replaced potentially about every 1.5 to 2 years. I did ask about the brakes. Brake pads, there's no recommendation for replacing them thanks to the regenerative braking. But the representative didn't actually say anything to me about brake fluid check or brake fluid flush. I'm really not sure what these things are, but they're on the grid as far as the recommendations that Tesla has for routine maintenance. Not a lot of things on that list, by the way. The one thing that the customer service representative did leave out is the filters. And if you take a look, there's 4 things that they recommend for the routine maintenance. It's the brake fluid check, cabin air filter, HEPA filter. We know that actually those HEPA filters are pretty expensive. The 4th thing recommended is the AC desiccant bag. I don't have any idea what that is. AC desiccant bag. So I Googled it. This is what Google says an AC desiccant bag is. In order to optimize the operation of your vehicle's precious air conditioning system, that's funny that they use the word precious in front of air conditioning system, the accumulator needs to have a reliable AC desiccant bag. Desiccants are substances that dry off the refrigerant before it cycles back into your system, allowing it to exchange heat more efficiently. So these are really the 4 things that Tesla recommends for routine maintenance, which I think is just kind of a more complete answer than the information I shared in the Today I Called Tesla video back on December 5th. I probably, in hindsight, should have addressed this question directly to someone in Tesla service instead of Tesla customer service, but I know that it is hard for the folks at Tesla to even keep up on all of the changes and all of the all of these details associated with their vehicles. But I did want to share this information. If you're a Model X driver, these are the 4 things that are recommended for routine maintenance. If you drive any of the other Tesla models, if you just ask them in the service center what the recommendations are, then they'll be able to show you they have like a laminated piece of paper at the service station here in Las Vegas, or it's like in a little book. They'll be able to show you what those recommendations are, the frequency, and the prices. Good information. Okay, the third thing that I learned is about bugs. We all know from watching the Tesla software update video how much Carly loves bugs, right? And how she cringes every time we get a software update that includes only bug fixes. But this is what I learned about bugs in the Tesla. And let's face it, these vehicles are computer on wheels. They're going to have little glitches and little bugs, just like a computer sometimes does something inexplicable, or our phone, shuts down an app and we don't know why. Okay, so here's the thing. If your Tesla does anything strange or out of the ordinary and you want to talk to Tesla service about it, you've got to record details. You gotta pay attention to exactly what day and what time it happened, because Tesla's gonna go back and look at the data in the car and try to figure out what happened. And if you just say it happened last week instead of saying it happened, last Tuesday the 2nd at 3:13 in the afternoon, it's going to make it harder for them to help evaluate the potential issue in your Tesla. And then there's even one more thing that is so cool that makes it so easy. The service representative told me that you can just use the voice command, press on the voice command button on the right side of the steering wheel and say, "Report bug." And then at that moment in time, it'll come up on the screen and it'll say, "Thank you for the feedback." And now in the computer data for your car, this is so cool. I feel like such a geek, but this is so cool. The computer data for your car will reflect that reported bug. And if you ever need to reference back to it with Tesla service, they're going to be able to look at the bug reports for your vehicle. So, really cool, right? I actually used this like 2 days after our service center appointment. I had, for like the second or third time, I had the key fob in the car, and then I went to leave and it said I couldn't turn on the Tesla because the key fob was not in the car. And the key fob was in the car. In all of these cases, all I had to do was use the key fob to open the door, close the door, and then the vehicle would go into drive and I could drive away. But I thought that was still like a quirky thing, and it's happened 2 or 3 times. Has this happened to any of you? Have any of you Tesla drivers had that specific problem? Let me know in the comments if you have had that problem where the key fob is in the car and your Tesla doesn't think the key fob is in the car, won't let you drive. So I was able to use the new report bug feature in Lucky within a week of the service appointment. So I don't know that I'm going to take the Lucky in for this issue, but the next time she's in for something else, I'm going to mention it and see if they can find that bug report. Okay, thing 4 that I learned at this educational service appointment was that there is such a thing as the NVH Grace Period, which NVH stands for noise, vibration, and harshness. And apparently Tesla has a policy where if anything goes wrong with the vehicle in the first year relating to noise, noise, vibration, and harshness, they will evaluate it for free for potential warranty maintenance. But after 1 year, that is not a part of the standard warranty to diagnose an issue when a driver comes in and says they felt a vibration, they heard a noise, or there was some sort of harshness. So after 1 year, the way it works is that there's a $175 diagnostic fee for anything relating to NVH. If they find a problem and it's covered in the warranty, then you don't have to pay the $175 diagnostic fee. That just covers their time if they don't find anything, or if they find something that for whatever reason is not covered in the warranty. So in the case of Lucky, where I was hearing like a little sound, and it might have been the steering component, it might have been the brake, and I wasn't sure, I decided it wasn't worth the $175 or the risk of potentially having to pay the $175 to have that issue diagnosed. Instead, what the service representative recommended to me, because there was a possibility that it had to do with the brakes, was that I spend $52.50 to do something called a brake burnish. That he thought that there was a very good chance that doing a brake burnish would get rid of any little sounds or any little creaks with my brakes. So I thought that that made more sense to go ahead and spend that money versus to potentially have to spend the $175 for the diagnostic fee associated with something that fell into that NVH category. So what is a brake burnish? I Googled that too, and here's what I found. Many manufacturers recommend breaking in their brake pads and shoes for better performance and longer life after installation. This process, often called burnishing, varies slightly between manufacturers. It generally involves a procedure of 30 slow stops from 30 miles per hour with a 30-second or so cool down. I still have no idea what a brake burnishing is, but I paid $52.50 for it, and I think actually the brakes haven't made a single sound since, so I hope that that will continue. If any of the viewers of TesLUCKY are subject matter experts about brake burnishing, please let me know in the comments, and please share with me how you can help like an ordinary woman who doesn't know a lot about cars, never ever expected to have a YouTube channel solely devoted to cars. Let me know what this is, please. I'm learning so much here with Tesla. Okay, so thing 5 in this video also relates to education, and I was so excited to learn that the Tesla Sales and Service Center in Las Vegas actually has a Tesla class every Friday at 4 o'clock where new owners can learn more about their vehicles and ask questions and meet other Tesla drivers. And this sounds like something that's right up Carly and my alley. And we are definitely planning to go to one of these future Tesla owner seminars. It came up because I said to the guy that we bought our Tesla used, and I never really got any type of orientation to the vehicle. And that's when he's like, oh, well, you should come Fridays at 4 o'clock and ask all the questions that you want. Yeah, no, I like asking Tesla questions. So those are the 5 things that I learned at the service appointment. Hope you found this video informative. If you did, if you learned something, please share this video with other Tesla drivers that you know and tell them about TesLUCKY. They might learn something too, and we're just trying to put out a lot of good information out there for the Tesla community at large to make everyone's driving experience as fun and as efficient and as easy as possible. And these are pretty high-tech vehicles. They're, these computer on wheels. When you think you figured it out, something's going to change and evolve and get better. So that's really, one of the main missions here on TesLUCKY is just to keep sharing, good information as it becomes available. And thank you as well to everyone who leaves comments and engages with us on these topics. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching TesLUCKY. I'll see you in the next video.